Okay, let's get the party started. So right now I'm just going to split this big old rod up. And we're going to go ahead and break this down before we begin anything else. And then we'll start the hammerhead. We're going to be like diving right into it right away. So here we go. Thinking time. What's up? How you doing? All right, here we go. So yeah, we are building the hammerhead shark for Shark Week. I love Shark Week. I think we might need all 3 flames tonight though, so I'm going to get them all set up here. There we go. Don't need it right away. Okay, so this one's going to be a little different build than I've ever done before. So we're going to use uranium glass for the body, but we're also going to use a UV color here. And this glows UV blue. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's glowing super blue right here. And so we're going to combine the two. Then I'm going to mix it up and we'll create the body off that. So that's where we're starting off tonight. We're going to create the body for the most unique hammerhead I've ever done. Hello everybody, what's up? Happy Sunday. A little bit earlier start time because I want to try and catch everybody on the East Coast too. I know people have to sleep. So yeah, tonight we are building the most elusive, crazy hammerhead shark I've ever done. And it's going to be a crazy build. So I've never mixed uranium and UV blue together. And in fact, I think it'll look good, but I don't know if the UV blue will stand out given that the uranium is going to be so strong. So right now I just have to build up a little bit of this clear here. Then we're going to put several stripes of uranium on. Then we're going to put some blue in between all the uranium. Mix them all together, finger paint them together. A little bit more. Right about there. Then I got to smooth this out so we don't get any air bubbles. I definitely don't want any air bubbles in this one. In fact, we should probably use a little bigger rod for a holding rod, and then I can give it a little bit more contrast here. Let me pop this on. So we're going to add a little bit more here. I need a little bit. I don't want them to build a tiny shark. We're not doing a baby shark. Let's add a little bit more. What's up, moderators? How you doing? Good evening to the mods. Thank you for always joining the live stream and keeping everything absolutely in check. Appreciate the moderators. If you see a moderator in chat, say hi to them. They are completely knowledgeable in my channel. They know a lot of things that I also will express if you have a question. but sometimes I'm busy making the glass and I don't have a chance to look at the chat every second. So they are able to answer any questions. A couple of them are glass blowers, and Red Squeak has been around me long enough that she knows more than probably most glass blowers. So if one of the mods answers a question, it is approved by me. All right, so we got our initial bulk body set here. I'm going to be describing the build as we make it. So we're going to be 100% transparent in this, no pun intended, in how it's actually made. This is not a tutorial though. All right, let's go ahead and add the uranium on here. Now I want to keep the shark as transparent as possible. So that's why I'm using a clear base of color. And then adding the color to the outside. So we still know it's glass. I'm going to get as realistic as I can in style. But I still want it to look like glass. Woo! Oh, what's up from Colorado? Give a big shout out to your state, city, or country, wherever you're from. Let's see where everybody's from tonight. Let's see where we're reaching. Big shout out to Colorado. That the torch is 200 degrees? Yeah, if you add a zero and double it. All right, so I wanted to show you the difference between the uranium and the UV before we get started. So there's the blue, and you can see the uranium behind it. So we got the blue and then the uranium. It's going to be a beautiful combo. How do you put the flamer on? I have a lightsaber. I literally have a lightsaber. Let me put this on here and I'll show you. Set that down. So this is how I light my torch. I actually have this lightsaber, you can see it has a little bit of a flame to it. It's a lightsaber lighter, or mini torch. I love that thing. All right, we're going to add the blue all the way around. There we go. Couple more. I'm so excited for this one. I've been holding back all week wanting to do it. Literally all week. Okay, so there is our colors strung around it in single stripes. So what's going to happen from here is I'm going to take and finger paint it. We're going to blend the colors. And I'll show you the before and after. We'll leave part of it striped and part of it not, so you can see the total difference. Then we'll start building the actual hammerhead body. Let me get a couple of these sections built. I will show you the before and after. Okay, one more little section here. But it is the beginning of Shark Week, one of my favorite weeks for glass blowing. I love making sharks. All right, there we go. So right here, you can, well, let me get it hot so you can see the difference. So you can see how I patterned it right there. I mixed them up, and then there is the single strands running around. I might need a light source on that. So it's not showing up. It's still pretty transparent. I want it transparent, but they are mixed up. So this bad boy is going to glow completely insane. This is going to be one of my favorite builds of the year. I can already tell. It's definitely going to be one of my favorite builds ever. I've been holding back all week wanting to do this, waiting for just this day. A little bit more. We've got a couple little strands left to do here, and then we'll start the shaping of the actual hammerhead. One more to go. And there we are. We're all good to go. So I'll heat this up. I'll bring it over. It shines a little bit of the striations in here, the pattern, very briefly as the glass is molten hot and the metals in the glass are illuminated from being heated up. The ions are excited. And then it cools off pretty rapidly. You'll see the pattern right there, and then it kind of disappears. Going to go back to clear. Clear-ish. Yeah, I'm definitely going Shark Week this week. We're building some badass sharks. So I'll let you in on a little preview of what's coming. We got the Hammerhead tonight. This week we're going to be doing breaching shark. So I'm going to try and do a great white shark breaching, like it's breaching the water. And then after that, I'm really debating on doing a Sharknado. I think a Sharknado would be kick butt. We are on horizontal tonight too on the tube. So if you want to see a much wider view, a much clearer picture as far as the whole studio environment, and you're on the tubes, you can go to the tubes and look at the horizontal stream. But in all honesty, if you're not on TV or PC or tablet, I would recommend staying mobile. That would be the best thing. Do I do a princess spell? I don't know what a princess spell is, Christine. I have to look that up. All right, let me get the back end here all situated. We're going to blend the rest of it, and then I'll start forming the actual shark body right now, right after I get this blended. Big shout out to all my members and followers and subscribers. I have some really cool perks coming for subscribers on TikTok and members on the tube. I have some cool perks coming, so get ready. Okay, so we got the initial bulk built. Now we actually have to shape the shark. So the first thing I do is I build out the shark body. We're going to keep it fairly straight. And then when I'm done with it, I'll add the curves like it's actually swimming in the water. But I do that at the very end. And the reason is, as I start to shape the body, it gives me a little bit of perspective as to where the bends have to be. And it's a real pain in the butt to try and add bends to a curving body. So we start with it in its initial shape, which we're starting right now. I'm working on the head portion. This is where the hammerhead will get that unique hammerhead style. And then I'll work on the back half where the tail is, and that's the first thing we're going to build tonight is the actual tail. And we'll add the back fins, and then I'll attach a rod back to it, and we'll work on the top half. So this one's going to glow completely green and a hint of blue. There we go. So we're going to start pulling it down right now. Trying to keep it even. Still turned out a little bigger than I wanted. But that's okay. A little bigger's better. I just didn't want a tiny little baby shark tonight. And we are looking good so far. Let me pull up my reference from my previous shark builds. We've got to pull this down just a little bit. I want to have enough room for that really bulky shark head for the hammerhead on here. There we go. I got to seal this back up a little. Make sure we don't get any parts where it wants to crack and fly off. A little bit more. Keep this guy as straight as possible. All right, there's our initial shark body. Let's pull the tail section now. A little bit further. There we go. All right, so here's our initial shark body. So we got that shark torpedo look to it. Looks pretty fantastic. I'm pretty happy with it. Let it cool off for a second. We're going to start the back fin, the actual back portion. We're going to do that out of uranium. Actually, I want to do it out of blue. I want to do this blue. We're going to make it blue and uranium. We're definitely going to change it up this year. So I'm starting fin number 1. This is for the back section. There we go. Yeah, maybe we're going to try a different approach this week. I'm going to try it a little bit different. I like it, but I don't. Need a couple of tools for that. Some flatteners on it. There we go. There's one half. Do the other side here. This one's going to be a little smaller. And I may have to do a little adjustment after I get these two built. I want to redo this one. It's still not the way I want it. So we're going to pick it back off. We'll bunch it back up and reform it because I'm not completely satisfied with it. Although I think I can modify it. Hold on, let me try modifying it first. Yeah, that's better. So there is our initial back fin added on there. We're going to go ahead and blend in this section here. And what I'm doing here is I'm eliminating the creases. I like the shape, but it doesn't butt up to the other end. I definitely have to redo this. Sorry. I definitely want to redo this. So it didn't meet the other fin properly. Didn't look right. This will only take a second. I'm kind of a perfectionist on this guy. If I had to go scuba diving, this is the one shark I would fear the most. The hammerhead. I saw so many of these in Florida. Give it a little bit more curve. That is way better. So there we are. That is the perfected side of it. Yeah, I saw so many hammerheads in Florida, it wasn't even funny. I just got to go back to my reference. Okay, we're good to go. Let's go ahead and start the next section here. Yep. Got one there, and we got to put two on the bottom next to it. So there we are. We got two more fins on the bottom and one up at the top up there. And if I remember right, yep, we got two more back behind it. I'm going to take that guy and flatten it out a little. So this is why I used a curved tool at the end, a flattener, so it doesn't interfere with the body. It doesn't create this like flat spot. Put one more on the other side. Oh, we got to flatten it. Got to fix this one a little bit. Get it a little bit bigger to match the other one. So there we are. We got the next two added to it. We got two there, two behind it, one up at the top, and then the back fins. And now I have to do its signature dorsal fin here, whatever you call it. The iconic shark fin. Thing that everybody fears seeing in the water, or at least I would. Okay, we just have to flatten it out a little bit. Go ahead and pull it into shape. So there we are. We got that iconic shark fin that everybody fears seeing running around. Let's warm it up a little. I need to find a proper holding rod for it. It needs to be big enough to hold this big old chunky shark. Right about there. So again, it's going to look very straight, like a stick figure in the beginning. And then once I have the full shark built, then we'll start curving it around. So I got to come back here and add in a holding rod to the back end. So I can start working the front. Separate it right up here. So now we're going to work the whole front section up here. We got the big fins on the side, the little side fins, and then we're going to actually put the iconic hammerhead on there. Before I do that though, I do want to fuse this in really, really good. I'm going to pull it just a little bit further out. Got this one little lumpy spot up here I want to get rid of. I'm going to trim this little section off here. Much better. And there we are. So I'm pretty happy with the shape so far. Now comes the hard part. These next two fins are a little bit of a pain in the rump. like that. I love that section right there. So those are the hardest ones to do on here. Those ones right up front. I'm going to do another one to match the other side. There we go. A little bit pointy there. So there we are. It's coming together now. I love this guy. These are awesome. Okay, so next step is I have to build the actual hammerhead part, the actual unique characteristic of it. Just had to put these two rods together. Before we go any further, I do need to warm the whole thing up. So this is a very soft flame. It's not as hot as what I need for actually melting the glass, but it does warm the whole thing up like 500 degrees, just to warm it up a little bit. This is only like 2,000 degrees. It's not too hot. Okay, here we go. So here we are, we're going to start building the iconic hammerhead version of it, the actual unique characteristic. And I had to put a little cap up there. The head of the shark has to match the side part of the eyeballs. So we put a little tiny cap on there of the same color. And then we have to flatten it just a little. Okay, let's go ahead and start building the side pods. Chris, member for 6 months. Awesome, Chris. Thank you for being a member for 6 months. There's our initial little start. There's a little smush right there. And then we got to put on the part where the eyeball actually goes. Ooh, I got to raise that up. Too far down. Bring it back up. There we go. And this is the actual part where the eyeball is for the hammerhead. So there's half of it. I still have some detail to do on it, but you can see where it's starting to develop right there. Looks really good too. So we're going to build the other part right now. It's always good to have a little extra. I can always pull it off if it's too much. If there's too little, I have to start over. So I always give myself a little room. And then we'll build the eyeball pod. So we got the initial hammerhead part put on right now. Now we're going to add in some detail. So it just needs some detail going into it. They have some very unique characteristics in the head itself. So we got to carve in little sections. Right there. Yeah, that's what I thought. They have these little notches in the head. Which is what I wanted to add right there. We'll bring it right up so you can see the notches kind of forming in there. Gives it that unique characteristic. Okay, I do have one little crack in here that I have to fix up before we go any further. And that's from cooling down too much. I'm going to fuse that in and get it all worked out. We're going to have to go to a micro flame for a second. microflame anyways, because we got to carve in the little gills on the side. The breathing apparatus. So we're just missing the gills right now. We're going to park those right in there. I'll hand carve them in. I'm going to leave it on a little micro flame here. Got my little trusty Spyderco knife. If it's going to crack, it's going to crack right there. But hopefully you can see a little bit of that detail popping in there now. And I think I saw one more little fracture in here. I did. Grab it here and just work on that fracture real quick. Pull this guy back up a tiny bit. All right, there we go. So this is what I call the stick figure. It's just kind of going straight. It doesn't have any like curvature, no craziness to it. We're going to fix all that right now. Yes, you email me the colors, Donna, 100%. Absolutely. So if you are currently a member or have been for 6 months, you are qualified for the birthday cake. Unfortunately, I have been taken advantage of on that program. So I'm changing it very soon. I'll announce it on the memberships. But if you are if you're grandfathered in on the memberships on the birthday cake, I will grandfather you in on that. But I'm going to start doing I don't remember who suggested it, but we're going to move to 6 month and 1 year anniversary for being members. All right, we're going to curve it. Ooh, there we go. We're giving the hammerhead a little curve there. But yeah, email me the details of your colors and we will get it done. All right, we're going to do curvature number 2 right in the middle of the body. The holding rod's barely on there for a reason. You got to curve it that way. I'm going to work on this head area. I got to move it just a little bit more. I'm not happy with the curve. Yeah, I love hammerhead sharks. Having lived in Florida, I saw so many of them. All right, we got a nice curve there. And the last section is the back end of this tail. I'm going to pull this flame down a little so I can not mess with the actual fins. And that way I can launch the flame exactly where I need it. There we go, got a nice curve to it. I'm going to move the middle just a little bit more. Then we're going to park this guy in the kiln and start building the base for the hammerhead to sit on. That keeps popping off, but I got it right where I wanted it, so we're okay. I kind of want to tilt that head up a little bit. And there we go. I got to carve a few more little gills in here, because as I started heating that, they kind of melted in a little. They're there, but not really defined. So I just have to reapply it. And that's what I was talking about, kind of creating a little bit of a curvature to the shark so it doesn't look like a damn stick figure. I do like it. It looks sick. All right, so there's our hammerhead. Let's build a base for it to sit on. So this part's going to be hella fun. It's going to be a little crazy, but we're going to do it anyway. So we're going to use that really unique purple color. So we're going to have this purple in there. I'm going to add in some cobalt blue, some uranium, and some of the UV blue. So we're going to create a wave, a simulated wave section, kind of like something for it to sit on. And then we'll mount it to a glass base. So this will have a couple different colors bouncing through it. This purple will kind of offset the green and blue. Green and purple are always a cool ass color. But yeah, unfortunately on the birthday cakes with members, I had too many people do a 3-month membership and then they canceled it on YouTube, so it just kind of ruined it for everybody. So if you've already been a member and you are a part of that program right now, I will honor it for sure. But we're going to do 6 months, probably 3 months, 6 months, 9 month, and 1 year anniversary bonuses for everybody. And that goes on TikTok too. If you're subscribed or part of the fan club that is the paid content, then we will honor that as well. All right, so I got to add a lot of purple in here. Yeah, I don't remember who suggested the 3, 6, 9, and 1 year anniversary, but I can't remember because I don't have it in front of me right now, but they mentioned it, and I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. I can make perks for 3, 6, 9, and 12 months. And then definitely after that, we'll definitely have some epic things for everybody. I know, I need to have 3. Well, every year it will definitely be more and more epic. All right, there's our purple. We're going to add our uranium in the middle because that's going to go great with purple. Uranium green. What's up, Ari? How you doing? It is the beginning of Shark Week. That's why I'm doing it. I love Shark Week. Terrified to death of sharks, but I like Shark Week. That's why I don't scuba dive. We were in Thailand and Bali, and I did not want to go in the water. It's like, nope, sorry. Not going to happen. But probably the most terrifying thing was in Thailand when we went in the caves on kayaks. Holy crap. I had like 6 inches clearance from my head to the ceiling of the cave in the kayak going through the caves. They're bioluminescent caves. And that was bad. You know, total pitch black in there. And then we got to the other side, which is the middle section of the cave in a little island area, kind of like a little pocket inside the cave where bioluminescent was amazing. But then my guide said, oh, the tide's coming in. We need to hurry up and get out. And literally by the time we were at the exit of the cave, I had 6 inches clearance. I had to actually lay down in the kayak, and we had like 6 inches clearance from the top of the cave to just water in the kayak. Never been so freaking scared in my life. All right, we're going to add the UV blue. Yeah, I've never felt claustrophobic before, but that time I did. Literally, the tide's coming in and the water's coming up, and you have 6 inches between laying down on the kayak and the top of the cave. And to top it off, they were like, oh yeah, don't touch the cave because it's super sharp. Okay, great. And to top it all off, my guide fell off the back of the kayak, and I had to grab him by his feet and pull him back on. I will never do that again. It was fun once, but I'll never do it again. Okay, here we go. You know what? I'm going to use this whole UV blue. Let's just use the whole thing up. So right now I'm building the actual wave that the hammerhead we just made is going to sit on. And then we have a little base that's already pre-manufactured. We'll attach it to the base and we'll put the hammerhead onto the wave itself. Anyway, how's everybody doing? What's up, Christy? How hot is the torch? 4,000 degrees roughly. It can be plus or minus 200 degrees, and that's in Fahrenheit, not Celsius. I think it's like 2,200, 2,300 Celsius. Wait, yeah, somewhere around there. About 2,000 Celsius. Let's just call it that. I burn oxygen and propane for the two gases. That is my combo mixture. All right, so we got three colors bouncing in here right now. The top is a sparkly blue that will light up under blacklight glue. Then the middle is uranium. That's the very transparent part. And on the bottom, we have a purple. And then the last color that I'm going to add on is a cobalt. Everybody loves cobalt. I think cobalt's probably the most popular color that people request. And there's a reason. It's really cool. I love cobalt glass. So back in the day, before they had didymium lenses, which is what I'm wearing right now, I'll show you what they do here in a minute. They used to make the lenses for glass blowers out of cobalt glass because it does filter out some light. And it will filter out a lot of the bright lights that can affect your eyes over time. So they used to make the lenses out of cobalt. I'm still on the hunt for an old pair of glassblowing glasses from their antique that are cobalt lenses. I found one on eBay, but holy crap. They wanted like $2,000 for them. I was like, nope, not paying that. I'll make my own lenses for that. So we're just adding a little bit of cobalt here. So this is stacked color. We got purple, uranium green, a sparkly blue that will glow blue under UV light too, and then cobalt glass. We're going to take this, we're going to build it all up. We're going to fold it over several times, kind of blending them all together so we get this cool chaotic swirl in there. And again, I'm going to go ahead and mount this to a flat, kind of discish glass mount. And the reason I'm using this particular disc is you can set it on a light base and it will light up like crazy. Okay, I think I have enough on there. So let me show you. So my glasses are made of this material here. Now I have one extra shade on it, and it is called didymium glass. And I'm going to pop it in front of the flame here for views. You can see that it filters out some of those colors. I got to kind of go between horizontal and vertical here. But yeah, you can see the difference. I'll pull it down a little. Then you'll definitely see the difference. So that's how the filter actually works in my glasses. Okay, so next step. This is the hard part. We're going to attach it here. We're going to fold. And create a simulated wave. Then we're going to mount that to the hammerhead and then put that part right on top of the actual flat part of the base. Kick it up a notch. There we go. I can already hear people going, oh my God, he's wasting gas. Yep, sure am. They pull that down. And here we go. I call this kind of like a taffy pull. There used to be a place in Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk that had a taffy place. I don't know if it's still there. But I used to sit for hours as a kid watching them pull taffy, saltwater taffy. And this totally reminds me of it. So we just kind of folded it on top of itself. Pull it back out. This will give the actual wave a lot of little cool swirls in it. Couple more folds and I think we'll be good. Should look pretty good here in a second. There we go. And one more fold, and then we're done. I got plenty of striations in it. So it kind of looks like agate, if you've ever seen agate stone, like the slabs that have the different colors bouncing through it. Same thing. Just in glass. Okay, so we got it all mixed up now. They're not blended like they're mixed together, they're just kind of striations in there. Here we go. We're doing fantastic. Looking good. Got a big old glob. And one more time with the filter while I'm heating this up, you can see there's that, and there we go. So you can see how we filter out a lot of that extra light coming through there, the brightness. Turn it down 1 second, and you definitely visually see that. The flame almost disappears going above the filter. You can kind of see it's like non-existent. All right, we're going to heat it up. We're going to come over to this disc. We're going to flatten it down a little, and then we're going to pull it into the wave shape. Oops, got a big ass air bubble in there. Hold on. Can't have that. No bubbles. Oh, someone sent me a text too. Remember, someone asked about no B and D. No bongs, no dongs. So we're going to bring it right over here and squish it down a little. So we got this giant lollipop looking thing right now. Now to add a little character to it, we're going to put a little bit of clear on here. And create a little bit of texture to the wave. Not only does it create texture, but it magnifies the color underneath it. So we got 3 little sections there. Let's go to the other side. Do the same thing. Now the hardest part about glassblowing in this section, learning this, is predominantly I'm right-handed, I'm very ambidextrous, but traditionally I want to use this to write and do everything. But in this process, you can't. You have to actually move the left hand. Think of like writing your name. I gave you a pen and paper and said write your name, and you have to move the paper, not the pen. That's exactly what's going on here. And the reason for that is I want to keep this in the same spot of the flame. It's cold up here, hot, cold. The flame has different heat zones, colder, hot, colder. So if I keep it in the same exact spot, the main rod that I'm melting in, and move the object, the rod itself has a consistent heat to it. There we go, and we're going to pop a clear section all the way around the top and around the side. This just gives it a little bit more definition. There's certain colors that if you do this technique with, you'll actually get 2 or 3 different colors out of it too. Okay, one more in the middle. I'm just going to enrich this middle part just a little bit. On both sides, and then we'll start pulling the wave actually into shape. One there, and one over here. And there we go. So I'm going to try and bring it over. You might be able to see a little bit of those little ridges I built into it. So it's kind of like 3 stripes going down and one all the way around the outside. It's a little short. Need a little bit longer version of that. I got to get rid of this. So this is the most dangerous part of my studio. See that little finger at the end? It looks like a little tiny blade at the end of that glass rod. That is the most dangerous part in the studio. That will cut you in 2 milliseconds, so I'm going to melt that in so I don't get cut later. Because as you start making this stuff, if you lose control of where your hands are, it will definitely catch it and it will definitely cut it. I need to find the perfect holding rod though. Nope. Yep, you're perfect. So we're going to attach here, and I'm going to start forming the actual shape. Now you got to keep this pancake looking thing pretty solid, pretty thick in the beginning, because as I start pulling it down, it's definitely going to go a lot thinner. As you stretch it out, it just thins out. But I don't want it so weak that the hammerhead gets fragile on it. All right, a little bit more heat to it, and I'll start pulling. See that script on there? So there's the initial wave kind of sculpture I will pop it on. Now I have to refine the bottom a little bit, but that's the initial wave we're going to put the hammerhead on. Might be able to pop some color on there with the flashlight. I'm not guaranteeing it, but now you can see all the colors bouncing through there. So it has like multi-strands of color. It's just freaking gorgeous. Then when it cools off, it's definitely going to have UV to it. Go ahead and refine this out a little bit. So what I'm doing here is, as I hold it, you get these little tiny stretch marks in there from stretching the glass, and it cools off a little rapidly, and it will create these little stretch marks. We don't want any stretch marks. I'm going to put an attachment right there. So I can do this part now. Colors are freaking gorgeous, though. got to bend it just a little. Then we're going to clean up the bottom because it's not all organized right there. The colors aren't blended well. So we're going to remove the bad part. This is where it gets really cool. This is like the epic part of it. I do have the rose we did the other day with the UV out here because I wanted to show that UV blue. So I'll show you guys that rose here after I complete this. With the little thorns on it, my God, it came out good. Came out really good, actually. All right, so there's our initial wave. So where that rod's attached to, we're going to attach the hammerhead, and where it's hot right now, we'll get affixed to the bottom of the base. So I'm just going to attach it here. And then we're going to grab the hammerhead and put it on. I'm going to leave a little nub there so I can attach the hammerhead. I might have to move it. We're going to pre-fit it right now. But one last look at it with the flashlight before we go too far. So you can definitely see the colors bouncing through there. Those blues and purples are just amazing. And then it will light up uranium green under black light. But there is the initial color swirl. Came out really, really nice. Ooh, we got some stretch marks still there. 1 second. Just noticed them. If I could take stretch marks out of people like I do glass, I'd have like Elon money. It was that easy. There we go. All right, so we got our base. Let's grab our hammerhead and place it on here. Okay, there we go. Got the flame set. Grab our hammerhead. So here's our hammerhead we're going to affix onto that base. I just have to find the right spot. Right there. Look, right there. Just have to smooth out that little section where the weld is. All right, let's clean it up a tiny bit. So there, the hammerhead's sitting on this little simulated curly key wave, like that. I'm going to shine the light on it. I can't leave it out for too long. We'll prep the base. But now you can see all the colors bouncing through. There. Definitely has that uranium color to it going. It's going to look freaking amazing when it's done. I can't wait. I'm going to put that in the kiln. We're going to pop the gloves on. And then we're going to assemble. Yeah, the color. I know those colors are awesome, right? Yeah, I love those colors. So I use golfing gloves. These are from like Callaway. I guess it's a popular golfing brand. I don't golf, but I use golfing gloves because the tactile feel is very good on this. Let me get some water. There we go. We're going to grab our base. We're going to lock it onto a tool. And then I'm going to trim it down. So I got to get rid of a little bit of that nub right there. I got to get rid of that. Got to trim it down, and then we'll affix it right on there. Just got to make sure this sucker's locked on. Yeah, it's locked on. So there's the base right there. So we're just going to take that little top portion down a little bit right there. And then I'll affix the project to it. I have to do this very slow, though. I really don't want the flame hitting the disc itself. So I got to be super careful. A little bit more, not much. We're almost there. So that's about how much we pulled off right there, that little scrap portion. Make sure it's nice and smooth up here, ready to be affixed to the actual hammerhead. And there you are. You can see how much I pulled off right there. So we just cleaned it up, bring it a little closer to the base so it doesn't look like a stick figure going up to a hammerhead. I don't want that. No stick figures unless we purposely make one. Yeah, there's a possibility of boom. It really is. Yeah, this glass can definitely shatter. All right, let's grab our hammerhead and park it on there. Get this melting down back onto itself. Perfect. Now I just got to smooth out that little section, no wrinkles. Sure it's not crooked. Tilt it back a little bit. Let it settle and we'll remove the holding rod here. Okay, should be good. You have to have a lot of faith in your tools here. Then we're going to heat it up and pull that one little fin right here. A little bit blended. Right there. Ah. There we go. So I'll bring it over while I have it on this tool here, but there's our hammerhead just kind of hanging out on the glass base. I can't get too funky holding it right now. There we go. She's all completed. Now we just have to get it in the kiln. That was freaking awesome. I love that piece. Yeah, that one is freaking awesome. What's up, Elle? How you doing? Oh, I won't waste gas. Don't worry about it. I won't waste any gas for you. Some Lando corner, whatever that is. Don't worry, I won't waste any gas. We're not wasting any gas at all. Okay, let's go ahead and add this little uranium rod back up. I love it when people say, don't waste gas. Your dog farts more gas than I use. Your dog farts more than my gas. What's up, Groves? Your dog farts definitely have more gas waste than this. If you're really concerned about gas waste, you can bottle up your dog farts. So what'd you guys think for the first shark of Shark Week? You like it? You like the hammerhead? I thought it came out cool. Let's get this guy attached here. So this little uranium glass is super expensive. I don't know what the current price is, but I think it's bouncing between $150 and $180 a pound. That's why even this little bit I try and save, because it just has this, you can see that really cool glow though from the uranium. Oh, there's a good spot. So while it's cold, it glows. When it's hot, it doesn't. Can you see that little section that's almost adhered to the clear glass rod? And it's hot and it's not glowing? That's the problem, is it doesn't glow while it's hot. I don't know why. I don't have a specific reason why that is. Not quite sure. All right, so let's trim this up and see what we can come up with. Got some cool builds for Shark Week coming up. Some funky stuff. Let me get rid of this little bit of cobalt here. Little nubby of it. All right, so we're going to create a cobalt blue shimmer glass real quick. So this is like a really shimmery, metallic-y liquid metal. It kind of has a mercury look to it. I don't know if you guys can see that shiny. It almost looks like metal, like a mercury. So what I like to do is we're going to build up a ball. We're going to encase it in cobalt, and then we're going to pull it down so I can build another sea life aquatic thing with it. And this time it'll have a shimmer to it. So it'll be kind of shiny. You go, Groves. Got you. What's up, Daisy girl? Let me give a big shout out to all my members. Jennifer, how are you? Bayo, how are you? Chris, what's up? Mod, Red Squeak. Who else is on here? I got Groves, Glass Gallery, Daisy girl, Pam Pal. Thank you for the gifts. Big shout out to everybody that's always with me. Type in chat. If you're new to the channel, type in where you are from. I'm always interested where everybody's hanging out. Oh, before I go that far. So I promised you the rose. So there's the rose that we did the other day with the thorn. I got it still attached to this so I could show it to you. And I can actually stand up right now because it's not hot. But here is the shiny part of it. See the shimmer to it? Okay, and here comes the secret sauce. 3, 2, 1. Look at that glow. So that's under the black light, and then back to natural light. Black light, natural light. Isn't that sick? That is just amazing. I got to find out if they still have this glass available. I really have to find out if that glass is still available. Yeah, this is like one of the coolest little roses I've ever done. We're going to go ahead and separate it now, though. I left it on this rod so I could get close to the camera and show you. But now that we did that, I can go ahead and separate it. Yeah, this one's absolutely freaking awesome. So now I have 3 colors of UV. We've got the blue, the pink, and the uranium green. I'm trying to think of like a rose cluster where I could do 1 blue, 1 pink, and 1 green in like a combination, like a flower bouquet. Okay. We're going to set that off to the side, let it cool. We'll leave it there. Let's go ahead and build the shimmer color that I told you we were going to build. Actually, I need a little more room. We'll use this one. Two roses and a rosebud would be good. I fumed it, it broke. I fixed it, came out, killing unfumed. Yeah, that happens, Groves. You can always reheat it and reapply the fume. You can reapply fume anytime. But most importantly, reheat it in the kiln and then use this flame. Sorry, I'm going to answer a technical glassblowing question. So use this flame very loose and just reheat the flour in the kiln, then run it in this flame just for a few seconds, and I bet you the fume will come back. Oh, I can make a vase. Yeah, that'll be a cool vase thing for it. But the only thing I don't like about the vase part, I don't want the vase too tall because I like having the little thorns show up. So I'll figure out a cool vase for it. Of course, Bea. I got you. What's up, Great DC? Smalls, what's happening? I'm giving a shout out to all my members and subscribers. I always give shout outs to everybody that supports this channel. By the way, if you're not subscribed on YouTube or following on TikTok, I would greatly appreciate that. It really helps my channel out a tremendous amount. And it doesn't cost you anything. It just allows me to keep live streaming and keep going, because the two platforms actually pay me to be on here. The bigger the audience, the better it is. Hi, Jennifer. I love giving shout outs. Bea, thank you for the membership. By the way, if you guys give out memberships to people, let me know. If you are one of the people that are giving memberships to people, please let me know. I have some bonuses for you guys on the tube. I don't think TikTok allows you to give memberships out yet. Like, give them out? I'm not sure yet. But if you are giving memberships out on YouTube, please message me with how many you're giving out, so I can take care of you on the back end with something cool. I got some really cool membership perks coming up. I just got admitted into the YouTube creator. I got an actual YouTube manager now. So they're telling me, they're like guiding me how to do this really cool stuff with memberships. So right now, that shimmer glass I just put on here, and we're going to encase it. Sky's the limit. What's up? How you doing? Welcome in. Yeah, so the way it works on YouTube is you can give out a random membership to someone, and YouTube picks the person. And it's kind of cool the way that works. But I kind of want to give special perks to people giving them away. So right now I'm encasing that shimmer glass in cobalt, and then we're going to pull it down, and I hopefully can show you what the end result is. It kind of like, think of like candy apple red, but blue. Why did I say it like that? Blue. I don't know why I said it like that. Blue. Sorry, you guys, you got me in a funky mood. I'm fiery tonight. That's why it's Fiery Guy. Fire, and I'm also fired up every once in a while. All right, a little bit left to encase on here, and we'll pull it down. I think I want to use this shimmer blue for the shark breach. So the shark breach is going to be a great white, and I don't know if I'm going to do it on Tuesday or Wednesday. But we're going to do a great white shark breaching. I think they call it air jaws. So that's my goal, is to do an air jaws out of glass. A great white shark breaching the water. TikTok has treasure box? Oh, you can. Okay. I didn't know that. They keep changing all the rules on TikTok. But yeah, if you're doing that, let me know. Please message me that you gave out so I can give you guys perks. I got some cool stuff lined up. I definitely have some cool stuff. And Christy, you need to message me. I don't know if you sent a message yet, but you need to message me anyway because of the transfer of membership from the other TikTok account. I want to make sure you're okay on that. All right, a little bit more to go, and then we're going to pull it down. So like I said, this color, think of like candy apple red, but in blue. Okay, I said it correctly. Paved. And we're definitely doing a glow-in-the-dark version of a shark this week for Shark Week. We're making a glow-in-the-dark shark. So not blacklight reactive, but actual glow-in-the-dark. So the shark will actually glow in the dark. No lights required. And I don't know which version of that I'm going to do yet, but I'm working on it. All right, so we fully encased that shimmer glass right here. Like that. We're going to go ahead and heat it up and pull it down into a usable rod. Oh, I can definitely use a marble in all three UV colors. The problem is the uranium overpowers the pink for sure. The pinky orange, uranium definitely overpowers it. And that's the only drawback from it. So this is how you make one of the versions of making a custom color, by putting an underlayment, undercolor, and then overcoating it with a separate color, usually a lighter transparent. So you want to use a heavy dark color underneath or white. And then you put a more transparent color over that solid, and it creates an amazing new color. And there's the Fritzster. Not a stream without Fritz, right? All right, let's pull this down into a usable rod. Yeah, I hope your arm's doing good, Melissa. Good to see you. You did earlier today? Got you. All right, Christy, I will check it out. Thank you for sending it. You have been such a big supporter of the channel. Big shout out to Christy. She's been with me for a very long time as well, and always supports this channel a lot. If you come on here regularly, I try to recognize you all the time. Not one of these people that's just going to take advantage and just ignore you. I know Fritz is going nuts. Thank you, Christy. Appreciate you. That's 3 years. Yeah, I know. Grows, right? All right, so we're heating up, and then I got to pull it down into a usable rod. So I attached a skinny 6mm in this end, and then this is a 10. So the 10 is my initial holding rod, so I can apply the color, and then I attach a 6mm to it because that's kind of the size I want, and it gives me a good gauge. I don't think I'll get to 6 on this, but we'll see. But I can visually see it as I start pulling. It's definitely going to have what's called a knuckle or a big end to it. Yeah, we're more like 7, 8mm. Oh, here we go. We're getting close to 6 here. Then we get left with these little bits here. So these are what I call my recycle bits. And you can take them and you can recycle them all the time. But what we're going to do right now, we're going to take this bit, we're going to flatten it out, and I'm going to be able to show you the color physically. Once it flattens out, it'll thin it out, it'll cool it off a little bit faster, and then I can show you the actual shimmer with the blue. So give it 30 seconds here, and we'll flatten it out. Give me 30 seconds of your time. Hang out, and you'll see the full color. It's going to have a little swirl and clear mixed into it, but you'll get the idea. Oop, oop. Definitely going crazy, though. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. We're going to flatten. And And if you guys are friends with my mother, the fiery mom, give her a big. If you guys have the access, if you have access to her on the social media, she could use a little cheering up right now. So I think it would be nice if you guys, if you know my mother, if you could give her a big shout out. She's the one that taught me how to do glass blowing. So, but yeah, it's been a little rough one. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. There, you can see that. See how it's kind of got that milky blue shimmer to it? Now the rod's going to look 10 times better, but there we are. So that's what the two color combos do. They create that really, I can get close. Isn't that just pretty? All right. We are clocked in at 2 hours. I'm going to take a break. I'm definitely coming back tonight. I got a couple cool projects, not Shark Week stuff, but we're doing Shark Week all this week, live streams, all the way up to Sunday. So we're going Sunday to Sunday with Shark Week. She is okay. It's just been rough. Yeah, it's just been rough. I mean, that's all. That's all. I mean, just been rough. And she could use a little good message here and there. Thank you for the goat, Christy. All right, so let me go have dinner with the family, and we'll come back and stream a little bit. Won't be a Shark Week stream. We'll be doing some funky, cool stuff. But, yeah, I'll definitely be back. I'll see y'all in just a little bit. Thank you all.